presentation. As soon as you're ready.
Mr. Speaker, I start with the obvious. I'm a black man. I've come here to this parliament to participate in a debate on a motion with respect to reparations. I regard it as an issue that is important and an issue to be addressed. I have no belief that this matter will be settled in any quick period of time. Many of us, if not all, will not be here at that time. But it's important to start the ball rolling and start on a good footing. For years we have been hearing, but not often, discussions or statements in relation to reparations. When one looks at the history that has led us to this time, it is one fraught with deep emotions and indeed great anger on the part of many people in this world. I'll be frank with you. I find the issue very emotive. And sometimes it's difficult to control one's emotions when you hear about the atrocities that our forefathers had to deal with. And as we read more, and more is coming out now, we're getting more information, I find it more difficult to deal with. It takes a kind of inner strength and a faith in my God to sometimes deal with the issues you hear or read about. It is not a matter to be taken lightly, nor is it a matter that we should politicize in the sense of party politics too much. And therefore, in any presentation of motions or bills in relation to reparations, we should deal and write very precisely. I've read this motion, and I've listened to the various comments and statements made on it. I have some concerns which I'll refer to in this presentation. But I believe when we come to this motion, we must come with clean hands. We must live and do what is right in these matters, regardless of our circumstances. Sometimes we don't do that. You don't live up to the expectations. You don't often live up to what we say we stand for and will do. We are asked at this point to debate this motion, and I will do that. The operative section of the motion, be it further resolved, I would have preferred to see no reference to Section 4. I believe that should come from outside our own forum here. Mr. Speaker, I raise this issue because sometime in April, I think it's around the middle 9th, somewhere between the 15th or 19th of April, there was a conference to be held in Chicago on the revitalization of this issue, reparations. During the time leading up to that conference, some people from our own country here, St. Vincent and Grenadines, intervened to try to stop Prime Minister Gonslaves, our Prime Minister, from participating in that conference. Those persons, as I understand it, were largely Vincentians, but they referred to incidents that took place here in St. Vincent, and therefore sought to have him removed as a keynote speaker at that conference. In the end, Dr. Gonslaves did not go to that important conference. I said in the end, Dr. Gonslaves did not go. No. Just listen to what I say now. I said in the end, Dr. Gonslaves did not go to that conference.
I think there's a causal connection with both.
When you speak, you could answer that.
Be honest now.
Mr. Speaker, I have looked at some of the documentation, part of the petition that was submitted to that conference. I've read it, I've listened to a lot of comments, I've heard much discussion about it, and as usual, Dr. Gonslaves has his own position as to why he didn't go, and others have their positions. Mr. Speaker, I deliberately said at the opening of this presentation that I was a black man, because Dr. Gonslaves has in fact made racist statements referring to me.
That's not true.
He has made racist statements in relation to George Bush, president, who would not be able to see me if it was in the middle of the night. But that has nothing to do with my race. It has to do with my idiocy. That's a racist statement.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker,
Honourable Prime Minister.
I don't know if my honourable friend would give way.
You have a point of order?
Well, if you don't give, we'll raise a point of order.
Raise the point of order.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I rise on a point of order. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Leader of the Opposition is speaking an untruth. Never did I make the comments which he said. His own party member, Frank De Silva, has broadcast,
My party member?
has broadcast what I have said. The point which was being made is that the Honorable Leader of the Opposition was saying, what would America say? And I said, the thing is this, George Bush meets us anywhere. He would ask, who is that person? He would ask, who is that person? Quote what I say. Not because you repeat it over and over and you and other people do it.
About the midnight.
It's a, I also say in the middle of the day too. But it's not if you see you ask who is that person there. And you know that too. And Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that what he's saying is an untruth, a dastardly lie.
All right. Well, Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Leader of the Opposition claimed that he did not say or indicate what was said. Well, I think I myself afford a lot of enough on that sort of issue, and I mean, lest we spend all night here tonight debating it backward and forward. Let's move on with the debate. I'm imploring you to do that.
I wasn't lying.
Let's move on with the debate.
Mr. Speaker,
Because we'll be here all night tonight.
yeah, that's the intention anyway, from what I see.
You give me one.
Mr. Speaker, there are a number of other statements and actions taken by Dr. Gonslaves, which to me belie his commitment to the reparations movement. I'm very serious about this. I have listened to Dr. Gonslaves make good speeches. I've listened which invariably describes some of the political persecution that our people faced in the past. And I can quote one, and it was very eloquently done, in which he said, slavery dehumanized productive and self-governing Africans, brutalized them on the plantations, robbed them of their dignity and the value of their labor, and denied them opportunities for socio-economic advancement and equality in the decades after emancipation. That was quoted even in the petition that went to the holders of that conference. But Dr. Gonslaves' government and he himself.
Honourable Member, let me refer you to 36(4). Members shall be referred to by the names of their electoral district
Oh, sorry, Mr.
for
Speaker.
which they have been elected, except
Yeah.
ministers who shall be referred to the
Yeah.
portfolio.
Representative. We're not essential. We're not. Mr. Speaker, when I read that, I immediately think of somebody like Bigger Biggs in our society. Who has or had a business going, got involved in some politics last election, An action was taken against him to close his business. And he's one of the descendants of the same slaves. His father was one of the persons who from slavery eventually turned up owning a plantation. All that information was sent to him to the same meeting. I can't reconcile. Yeah? Yeah, I know the issue.
Yeah, but you're distorting it.
Distorting it?
You are distorting it.
That's your opinion. I'm saying it.
You're being dishonest about it.
That's all right.
Members,
You're being very dishonest.
And you're very dishonest about what you're saying too.
Honourable member,
Very dishonest.
Honourable member, please, let me just debate the issue that is before us.
I don't know what to debate
Let's debate
now.
the issue before us. Well, I can remind you of what you're debating. If you so need that
Mr. Speaker,
reminder.
I have listened to political meetings in St. Vincent and Grenadines. Dr. Gonslaves was speaking. The Honorable Prime Minister and Representative for North Central Winard. In the most disparaging ways about black people in this country. Most disparaging.
Mr. Speaker,
Honourable
I rise again on a point of order. The honourable member will sit. Mr. Speaker, again, this is an outrageous lie. The honourable leader of the opposition must not be permitted just to make wild accusations to support his own political purpose. What he must do is that where that is done, bring the tape recording or whatever you have. Bring it. I'm telling you, you are lying.
And I'm equally telling you that you are lying.
You are an outrageous liar of the worst kind.
Enough is enough.
Dishonest.
Enough is enough on this issue.
The truth with us?
Enough is enough on this issue.
You're a crazy man.
Enough is enough on this issue. I will call this debate to an end. Enough is enough on this issue. Listen to me. We are here to debate a motion. And I don't think that the motion we're debating surrounds Dr. Gonslaves. Yes, it does. I don't think that. Honorable, listen to me. I don't want to hear your voice again. I don't want to hear your voice again unless
Stop me from speaking.
Honorable, unless you stand.
Then make
listen
your point, but
please,
don't tell me I'm not your child.
Please leave the house.
I'm not your child, you know, Mr.
Well, then leave the house.
Mr. Speaker, you cannot tell me you don't want to hear my voice without
I said
explaining to me.
unless-
I am here to speak.
I said unless you're standing on a point of order.
Excuse me?
I said unless you're standing on a point of order.
Well, that's what I'm doing at the moment.
No, you not. You will not.
Excuse me.
I
Mr.
said-
Speaker, you have made a
I
statement to
said
me.
leave
I
the
am
house.
saying, excuse me?
But you have Dr. Gonslaves.
I don't
I'm
have
not
to
your
give-
child, you know, Mr. Speaker.
I don't have to give it.
Mr. Speaker, I want to make it clear to you that I am not your
I
child.
don't have to give you a reason to believe it, read in the house.
I said I am not
I
your
am
child, and
saying-
I don't like how you have spoken to me. You
I
don't
said-
tell me I cannot speak in the house.
I didn't
And
say-
I am saying, that's what you said to
I
me.
said unless
You
are-
said to me, I will not be allowed to speak in this house tonight. And I am saying to you, Mr. Speaker, that is out of order.
that's
Because
listen to me.
you cannot tell me that I can't speak in this house.
I did not say that.
You said that.
That's exactly what I heard you say, Mr. Speaker.
Said if you speak again, you put him out.
That's exactly what I heard you say.
Listen to me.
And that's why I responded
want
to you.
you to leave the house now.
You asking me to do
Yes,
what?
leave the house now. You have been disrespectful to the chair. And I want you to leave the house now. Leave the house now.
It seems as though that's what you want. I'll give you your way. No problem. So not only can I not speak, I must leave. Well. Well.
Honourable members, I am sure that many of you would have heard me saying you cannot address the House while you're sitting, or unless you stand on a point of order.
The Honourable Prime Minister did that.
Listen to me.
And sitting, he called
I
the Honourable Leader a liar.
I may have
and
to
telling
ask.
that he's dishonest.
I may have to ask you to leave today.
Well, wait a minute. Mr. Speaker, I sat here and heard the Honourable Prime Minister call the Honourable Leader a liar
Hold on.
and dishonest, and he, without rebuke,
Honourable member,
and of the worst kind, without rebuke.
sit down. You sit down. Kindly sit down.
I'll take my seat, but,
Yes.
don't speak to me like a child either.
Kindly sit down.
Not a
You
child.
see, the thing about it, we are so impetuous in this house.
Impetuous?
Yes. You did not wait. I was addressing a matter when the honourable member for West Kingston was intervening. And that's the point at which I tell her, please do not address his house while
That's
sitting.
not what he said, Mr. Speaker. He told him if he speak again for the Nigel trim out.
No.
Yes.
Honourable,
He opened his mouth again.
Honourable, wait just a minute. Honourable member for Central Kingston, I am demanding from you apology.
On
If
what?
not, you're saying that I told him, man, if you speak again, I'll trim out. I'm demanding from you an apology, and if you don't give me, I'm asking you to leave the house now.
Mr. Speaker, you said you didn't want to hear him again.
But I didn't, you can't interpret what I mean.
That is the only interpretation.
Let us go. And I don't want anyone to be arguing with me on these issues. Honourable members, let me deal with these issues. Now, the statement as made by the Honourable Prime Minister in reference to the Leader of the Opposition is not parliamentary. And it is not parliamentary language, and neither does it justify the Honourable Leader of the Opposition responding in the way he did in relation to that same issue. And I was about to deal with that matter when the Honourable Member for West Kingston intervened. And I'm saying that we are debating a motion, and it is sad to say that we are not dealing with the issues as they come. And I'm the one here who can make those determinations. And I'm saying, and I'm therefore, for the continuation of this house, I'm asking the Honourable Prime Minister to apologize for the unparliamentary language, and I'm also asking Leader of Opposition so to do.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw the comments as you have asked me to. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this, that in addition to the similar request which you have made to the Leader of the Opposition, I'd also like to ask the Honourable Leader of the Opposition to desist from saying things which are untrue, because that is what is happening here.
Okay. Thank you. Honourable Leader, I'm also asking you to withdraw that unparliamentary remark.
I withdraw the remarks, Mr. Speaker. With respect to the other statement by the Prime Minister, I want to point out that I'll be continuing to make references to matters which I see as often racist.
And I am,
Mr. Speaker, to accuse an honourable member of being racist is the most unparliamentary of remarks.
I think so. I agree.
So
with you.
I want equally to make that point, Mr. Speaker.
I agree with you. I am definitely agree to, because I'm going to make the statement as well. And I mean, I am not really, to be honest, satisfied with that apology. I don't think it is made in the spirit that it should be made. Let us set examples. Please, let us set examples. And let us debate. And I'm saying here, any reference to anyone making a statement, I would like to know where and when that statement was made.
Speak every time I provide it to you, you don't want it.
What's that?
I said, don't explain.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, we've been over this before. You see, these things come back to haunt us.
on.
You will recall that I brought a CD in this house with a statement that the Honorable Prime Minister made. I made several attempts to give it to you. You wouldn't accept it. And now you're asking us to provide evidence.
Yes, I say any
Well,
statements.
we have to decide, Mr. Speaker, what is it you want us to do?
Well,
Either we
this is-
provide it or we don't.
Well, this is my decision now.
So you don't want the one that I gave you from before too? Because I still have it.
And, listen to me, honorable member. Please, your member.
Mr. Speaker, listen,
I respect a lot.
Yeah, well, I hope the respect is earned, Mr. Speaker, but I'm not talking nonsense
I
here.
will stop playing the house.
This is not a play.
Of course it is.
You're the one who is demanding something from the honorable member, which we in the past have tried to provide, and you refused it.
Would you kindly take a seat?
So you're
honorable
bas-
member? I don't. Would you kindly take a seat?
Well,
Mr. Speaker, may I say this? On no occasion has
Mr.
any...
Speaker, I'm still on my feet, do you know?
No,
But
I
you
asked
went
you
down
to
this
take a
at.
seat. I asked you to take a seat.
Mr. Speaker, on no occasion has any matter which the leader of the opposition spoken about has been brought here. In fact, when I said that a journalist who is a member of the opposition party, Frank De Silva, played the tapes, he repeatedly pointed out, why are they continuing to lie on the Prime Minister like this? That is notorious in this country now.
Honorable Leader. Honorable Leader. I never said that you have to bring it. I don't understand. Why are you all misquoting me? I never said you have to bring anything. I said references made to anything, you must say when and where it was made. Good. So please continue.
Mr. Speaker, let me make sure I understand it.
Yeah.
I have heard the Prime Minister on more than one occasion make homophobic remarks about a bright young black woman in this country on the public platform, which were baseless.
Mr. Speaker,
just a minute.
I have not made any such homophobic remarks. In fact, the very person about whom the Honorable Leader of the Opposition has spoken has taken two speeches which I made at two separate points in time, and they were conflated, a matter which the Court of Appeal has commented upon, which I can point to, but I can't make any reference to the criminal cases which arise from those statements by that same person because they're still sub judice.
But it's outrageous, to be honest with you, that the leader of opposition make a reference. I understand what you're talking about. Why is he making reference to that case, that situation, when we know that's a matter that has been before the court and for which an appeal is on the matter?
When you make those kind of statements about dry head girl and all them kind of things, what are we talking about in this country?
Honorable,
That's the Prime Minister of the country speaking.
Honorable, would you please just debate the motion, if you
Do
wish?
I have to refer to these matters?
No, I am saying you don't, unless you can bring reference to them. Because I did beat, I don't beat.
What?
Any further debate on this issue? Any further debate on this issue? Honorable member for Central Leeward, I'll take you. Well, I asked him to continue, but he sits down there and wouldn't move. So I interpret that he does not want to continue.
I didn't say so, Mr. Speaker.
Would you, let me say again what I just said. Would you please continue our debate? And let's try to avoid these references that
Mr.
we
Speaker,
cannot substantiate here.
Mr. Speaker,
Thank you.
those references go to the point I'm making. So you say.
Well, it's one thing is true, one thing is not true. Let us try and avoid them for the
Mr.
thing.
Speaker.
I'm sure that you can debate this issue better than that without having to refer to this.
Mr. Speaker.
I'm confident about that,
Mr. Speaker, I said at the beginning of my presentation here.
that you're a black man.
Yeah.
I heard you, and so have I.
I'm very conscious of that because of some of the things that are happening around me. Very conscious of it. And therefore, when we come to discuss things like reparations, I doubt the sincerity of persons who make statements otherwise while saying these things. Well, I have my facts right. have
On
my
the
facts
premise,
right.
just please allow him to finish his debate.
Mr. Speaker, one of the issues that is of concern is in moving forward with the issue of reparations. What is expected from the program that has been outlined? What is the practical way we're moving forward in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? I understand when you say to give all practical, political, diplomatic, and material support to Caribbean reparations. Right? I understand the practice or the intention to go to the case, International Court of Justice. But I believe, Mr. Speaker, importantly also, that our own people in St. Vincent need to understand more clearly what the reparations exercise is about. What sort of mechanism are we contemplating for that public information? These are things I'm concerned about. I'm very concerned about them. Because it's all good and well to have some discussion and speak at CARICOM and so on. What are we going to do to have our people have this on their front border? I don't quite follow what in that regard was going to
Our members, just lower your voices, please.
Is there going to be a program for public information on a much wider scale than there is now? When I go home tomorrow, what I'm supposed to do as a citizen of St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Talk to my friends about reparations? I'm still trying to get a feel in a practical sense for what we are going to do and how we are going to accomplish it. I agree it's not just St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But what are we going to do here? Well, the intent is we must make the practical proposals? Huh? You send me a letter from the Reparations Committee? When? What year? I have never got any letter from the Reparations Committee.
All right. Okay, we can't dispute that. You never got that. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we'll deal with that on Monday then. All right.
Mr. Speaker, I came to this session of Parliament to discuss this matter because I have an interest in it. I believe it is something that needs to be done. But at the same time, I want to ensure that those who have the responsibility to carry the issue forward are on all fours. I don't like some of the things that have happened to me as a person, comments made, and I referred to the Prime Minister a while ago. I still don't change that. Member for North Central World. I don't like those things. They don't spark up any sincerity as we carry the reparations process forward. I want to make that absolutely clear. We must be treated with respect. All of our citizens. You can't come and tell me certain things and then come and tell me reparations because I want to hear the reparations after that. Mr. Speaker, I think I'll take my seat.